Yeah, the Titanic sank in 1912, and the central bank was created in 1913, right?
Roger. I have a book that was written in 1912 called U.S. Money versus Corporate Money, and it opposed the Aldrich Plan, which was the creation of the private central bank, the Federal Reserve. If you want a copy of that, just shoot me an email. I'll send it to you. Some of the artwork in there is interesting. One of them is of a big octopus, and his tentacles are on everything.
An octopus is an amazing creature. Those things are cool.
Yeah, what do you know about their DNA?
They're very, very intelligent animals, there's no doubt.
There's nothing on Earth that shares anything like their DNA.
The Titanic sank on April 15th. What date? What also coincides with April 15th?
It's tax day. See, you get a yearly reminder.
It's also the Ides of March.
There's some wild stuff afoot, but the libtards are finally coming to the realization that Trump's going to be president again.
You hear Illinois is trying to strike Biden from the ballot because he is lending aid to the illegal invasion.
And not only Illinois, DeSantis is looking for a way to do it too.
Well, that's the way to do it. You know, he's in violation of the 14th Amendment.
And you heard what Governor Abbott's doing in Texas, right?
Yeah, did you hear what's going on? Yeah, his National Guard is taking these illegal aliens that are coming in, they're putting them on buses and driving them a couple of miles and turning them over to the Border Patrol.
No, not only that, but the land that immigration is on where they're housing these people, he's pushing them out. No more housing illegals in Texas by the Border Patrol.
Yeah, but Abbott's National Guard is still letting them in. It's all for show. That whole thing yesterday or the day before, it was all for show.
Same with DeSantis. A lot of the stuff that they claim he's done really hasn't been done.
Did you see in Iowa today, DeSantis was there and some guy walks up to him with a participation trophy and says, I want to award you with this trophy because we know you're not going to win the election.
That's funny.
DeSantis is losing to Trump in his own state. What does that tell you? As soon as he opposed Trump, you knew who he worked for.
Didn't the fat bastard Christie drop out?
Yeah, DeSantis ain't far behind. You remember the first Republican primary with Trump?
What's that, Mike?
Remember the first Republican primary debates with Trump and Jeb Bush?
Yeah, I remember some of that.
Jeb couldn't talk that fast. He started tripping over his words. The Bushes are freaking Nazis.
Harry, are you on your vertical tonight, or are you on your horizontal?
I'm on my homebrew fan dipole. I tipped my vertical over for a couple of days. Even though it's got a 95 mile an hour wind rating, I didn't want a chance.
Oh yeah, you're coming in good. Yeah, that was probably a wise move.
Yeah, and it got wet too. The sea level came up to that height. I couldn't believe it. I mean, when I say you're on the Cape, you know, we got devastated here, absolutely devastated.
Yeah, we got some bullshit. Those two Monday storms, the last Monday storm that we got was terrible. It messed so much stuff up. A lot of power outages, a lot of flooding. But today we had like all three of the high tides flooded out my road. You couldn't even get out where the pond is. You know, there's a pond off the ocean. You couldn't even get out that way. Luckily, there's another way to get off of my road.
Taiwan chooses self-governance, elects anti-CCP president in historic election. The drums are beaten.
My buddy called me today. He lives up in Great Neck, up Island, and he's got his house out here. And his area in Montauk flooded out, and it's like a T intersection that was, fairly well flooded out, and everybody was driving right through the guy's house on the corner. He's got like these bushes on the corner so nobody cuts the corner or parks there. Well, they were driving behind his bushes, cutting through his lawn to get by and get through there. And the guy's not even around. His house is closed up for the winter.
Yeah, roger that. There's some bad storms lately.
Yeah, I had an issue with some dirt spilling into my lawn, but I put some boulders in the right spot.
Yeah, these people drove behind all of that and right up close to his house. Unbelievable. I went on Google Earth to take a look at the guy's and it's only like a less than a quarter of an acre. It's 0.21 of an acre. Small lot, and the guy, if he blocks off any more, they'll go around the other side of his house.
Okay, I'm back.
Well, it sounds like he's really exposed where he is.
Yeah, that area is. There's a couple of houses that you don't want to own down in that area.
How you doing, Harry and Mike?
Hey, Chris, what's going on, man?
It took a little getting used to, but I'm listening on my Flex 6600 on my 10-meter dipole, or well, let's face it, it's a IMAX 2000. So I'm listening to 660, the fan, and listening to the game. And it takes, you know what? It takes a little time to get into that mode of like getting it in your head. You know, where you have no visual. You know what I mean? You have to kind of use your imagination.
Well, at least you did that before. The kids today never did that.
Oh, no.
It's like the old days.
Radio was so big when we were kids, all of us, Harry. Remember, I've been listening to the Mets games or the Yankees game. I didn't watch that on TV. I listened to it on the radio.
I remember in 6th grade when the Mets were in the World Series. We had an AM radio in our shirt pocket with the long, with the earpiece. Remember those little white earpieces with the long wire? Well, we took the wire, we snuck it down our sleeve and attached a rubber band to it with one of those safety pins, up your sleeve, and you'd lean on your desk with the earpiece up to your ear, listening to the game, and if the teacher looked at you or came by, you let go of the earpiece, and it would disappear up your arm, up the sleeve of your shirt.
Oh, you were good. I didn't even attempt that. I had a little Radio Shack transistor radio that I got for Christmas from my grandmother, no less. And I didn't even know what radio. I'm like, radio? What's this, Grandma? And I was hooked. I used to listen. I see a little kid listening to Imus in the morning. I don't know if you remember Imus, but that guy, he really carried on.
Well, our jig was up when one of the guys hit a home run and one of my friends yelled "Yeah!" in the classroom, and that was the end of that.
Oh boy, good memories, right?
Certainly. Hey, I got a question for you, Chris.
Yeah, okay.
Why did the Irishman only put 239 beans in his chili?
239 beans. That's an awful specific number of beans, but I'm not sure.
They didn't want it to be too farty.
There you go.
Oh, boy. You should have told that one to Rick.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, boy. Here we go, Jay.
Do you know that Imus in the Morning is the original morning show?
I listened to Imus, and he was a young man then. I remember we had like a fort. It was in the house in the attic, but we had a little, like Harry was saying, we had a little AM. There was like nothing. There was nothing going on. But we had the little transistor radio, and a lot of times on off from school, summertime, I'd be up there with the transistor radio, and I found myself listening to Imus, because I think at that time, if my memory serves, KZ2N, he played music in between.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you know how all these different radio stations have their morning shows? Well, Imus was the original one, the one that started it all off. Yeah, I remember Imus in the Morning.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got Scott Shannon. He's a world-famous radio disc jockey programmer, and, he took that Z100 station. Oh, my God, I remember those days. We're going to go from worst to first, and, of course, they did, and they still are today. But they did that Z-Zoo in the morning, which for FM radio, that was a new thing, and I'm sure we've all listened to it.
Yeah, but Imus was around.
We'll be back in a bit.
Even came in.
Scott Shannon does all the promos for Sean Hannity now.
Oh, really?
You've never listened to Sean Hannity's radio show? It's always been Scott Shannon doing all of his programming, and before he speaks, he's like the radio announcer. Anyway, I'm just watching the Knick game at the same time. I can see this. I don't have to listen to it, but it's halftime now. The Chiefs are winning 13-6. No, 13-7.
That might turn out to be an interesting.
It's -7 degrees, Harry, there. Not wind chill factor. No, actual -7.
Where's that at?
Kansas City. They're playing right now. Kansas City against Miami. Boy, those Miami guys got to be losing it, man. Kansas, these guys, Mahomes and the gang, they're used to it. Kelsey, and these are men. These are tough men. Miami, they're tough guys too. They can handle it. But they say the wind chill factor, because it's windy, is like -23. I mean, I wouldn't want to be a fan sitting in those stands. I'm sorry.
That's what I hate about the Super Bowl. They always play it somewhere where the weather's nice.
Exactly, and I guess because it's, they got to do the halftime show. There's so much money involved, Harry. They can't afford to have it snowing while Taylor Swift is performing.
Yeah, you wouldn't have Taylor Swift's nipples popping out.
I think that's a guy.
I'd like to see that.
She's a libtard.
She's a wackadoo, but my God, she's a beautiful woman.
Chicken legs.
Trans.
I'm a Taylor Swift fan. She's a very talented musician, good singer. Like I said, there's a lot of it's so woke now with the radio, but I find myself being able to listen to her tunes. You know what I mean? If that's what's on the radio, which is not, there's nothing on the radio anymore. Harry, am I getting old? I'm thinking to myself, man, you're an old geezer. I turn on the radio like the stations you always listen. I can't listen to this crap.
I want to hear some Led Zeppelin. The woman brings the car to the mechanic and says, "My car's making a funny noise. What do you think it is?" And the mechanic says, "Try taking the Taylor Swift CD out of the radio."
Hey Harry, it's funny you mentioned that. I was for probably over an hour. I've been listening to John Bonham on the drum solos. Led Zeppelin's one of my favorite bands.
Yeah. You know what I like? I like the BBC album there. The dual BBC Live, whatever it is. You know what the album I'm talking about.
I know exactly the album you're talking about. Yeah.
Why aren't kids doing this anymore, Harry? Where are the great bands?
I don't know. I'm just glad that they were around during our time, man. I went to a lot of those concerts. That's why my ears are ringing now.
Oh yeah, I've been to. I'm trying to think. One of the loudest concerts I've ever been to, and the dude that was playing my brother-in-law at Brookhaven here, Harry, got us tickets to not Led Zeppelin. Leonard Skinner, and with 38 Special. So this guy, that of course, how, I don't know if you ever been to a Leonard Skinner concert, but they don't play Freebird, and they literally say thank you, good night, and and people yelling Freebird, and that goes on for about 5 minutes, and nobody's leaving, and all of a sudden here they come. Anyway, I had fifth row. My brother, and their wooden chairs you're sitting in. and the lead guitarist playing right in front of me. I mean, I was just absolutely blown out of my socks, and I couldn't hear for about a week.
The Van Zant boys, you can't get any better.
That was just absolutely stunning. I've never been that close to any, and then the dude just playing it right in front of me. I mean, literally, like I was standing in front of you, Harry. You know, when I met you. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember one time. Well, a couple times got up close to the stage. One time was the Who, their last concert, and that was at Shea Stadium. I can't. That had to be 1980. I don't know, around 1982 maybe.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of concerts. Van Halen, Kiss. I'm just trying to go back. Oreo Speedwagon, most of them, but always nosebleed seats, because we didn't have any money. I did go to a pretty good concert. I don't know, like Hall & Oates. I don't know if you like Hall & Oates, but this is back in the 80s, and I was living in Erie, Pennsylvania, and they came to the Civic Center in Erie, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to miss that. So we all went to Hall & Oates, and you know what? The tickets weren't that expensive. I had not like nosebleed seats, but decent seats. I mean, that was a pretty cool concert. That was when they were, Hall & Oates. They got so many popular tunes, but yeah, that was a good. I have to say that was a good concert. I think you know what it was? It was easy. There wasn't a lot of people there, so we were drinking beers like crazy.
Yeah, I never was at a Hall & Oates. I did see Jackson Browne at the Garden State Arts Center, though. That had to be in 79, I guess, maybe 80. That was, the girl I was seeing at the time, she wanted to go see him, and I was like, all right, not my cup of tea, but that actually turned out to be a halfway decent concert from what I remember.
I gotta tell you guys this story real quick. Brookhaven Amphitheater, Harry, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Never been there, Chris.
Oh my God, it's awesome. I mean, it's an outdoor theater. So anyway, and this was like, I come home, it was like a Friday night, I was tired, and the wife goes, she goes, my brother got us tickets to Toby Keith, the country music guy, and I'm like, Toby Keith, I don't know, really? And so anyway, so all right, I get ready to go, and it's packed. I mean, you couldn't get even close to this place, and there's like buses to different parking lots, and we get separated. So I said, all right, I'll go over to this one, you guys take that bus, and it was crazy. I mean, absolutely crazy. But so anyway, I get on the bus to go to the stadium, and I sit next to this woman that was like dressed to the nines. I'm telling you, the like, if you can picture like a country cowgirl, but absolutely farmer's daughter, beautiful. So she sits down next to me. She says, are you as excited as I am? And I said, now I am. But I have to say, I don't like country music. Not that I don't like it. I'm not a country music. But that was a great concert. He did like the Red Solo Cup song, and a lot of his famous songs, and it was a lot of fun. That Brookhaven Amphitheater at Bald Hill. That is one incredible place.
Yeah, the Garden State Arts Center is open air, and I tell you, the acoustics there, as I recall, were astounding. Yeah, that's one of the things that I liked about that concert. But that's over 40 years ago.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, well, the game's about to start again. I'm going to turn on the audio. I just have audio. I can't watch with the sound off, but I'll be checking in from time to time, and I'm glad you guys are in there tonight. I'm glad my antenna's working. Harry, you know I put up a new antenna.
Yeah, I think we were talking earlier this morning. You got the 240-foot GR5V or whatever the hell that thing is called.
Yeah, you're right. I was talking to you earlier. I remember now. But I'm happy I got that done because we're not going to see 55 degrees for a long, long time, I think.
Did the wire snap up into place yet that you were waiting?
It's dark out. I haven't been outside. It's plenty good. It's just like, it's like it's got just one little section is being held down by some branches, but I know from experience because I put a few of them up over a little bit of wind actuation. It's not very windy right now. It'll wind up because it's on a weight. My whole system's on like a pulley system with a weight. So the moment it gets free, the weight will just take up the slack.
Yeah, Roger. Well, you're booming in here, Chris. 30 over. I think you're still barefoot. But when we were talking this morning, you were fading in and out. I could barely hear you on 40 meter. But you're 30 over, booming in here. Nice signal.
Beautiful. All right, Harry. Always good to hear you. And Mike's probably out there and the rest of the gang. I'm going to get back to listening to the game. Go Kansas City.
Same here, Chris. Thanks, man. Enjoy the game. We'll catch you later. W2Q.
And he lets it fly to the left, and the Chiefs are under it as the 28 picks up.